I read an article in the New York Times in 2009 about a kid on the autism spectrum running away on the subway, and I was developing this project, and I brought on one of the writers who I worked with for about a year, and then I brought on an additional writer to help with some structure and dialogue. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the writing was also done during the production through improvisation, and I rewrote the ending to accommodate the storm. And
the kid that you found for the one of the main roles, how did you find him?
So Jesus Sanchez is a young actor who lives in Florida. He hadn't done too much prior to this film, but he's been interested in acting for a while, and his mother saw a posting that we put on an Asperger's blog. Jesus has Asperger's, so his mom was on this blog and saw it as a great opportunity for her son. So we started our relationship there, and it evolved. He put himself on tape. It was quite good. I went down south and I made a short film with him over the course of a day. It was kind of like an audition character study, and then he just seemed to be the right person for the role, so we brought him up from Florida, and yeah, he did an incredible job.
Yeah, it's a stunning first shot, timing it with the airplane that crosses the frame. How did you do that to know exactly where because the airplane could have flown?
Yeah, so that was that was an expensive shot because we had to actually get that. It was a 737. We had to actually get it to fly through our frame.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small window.
No, I'm just kidding. We were just filming for long enough. There's a lot of planes there.
Right by JFK.
So yeah, it was a great moment though. I was looking at the monitor just like, yes.
How many planes flew by before you got the? I mean, you also had to time it with a kid throwing a grenade.
It wasn't the point of the shot. We weren't like trying to get the plane to come through during. It just happened, and it was nice, so we used it. Yeah.
And this neighborhood, I think it was called Far Rockaway, or just Rockaway?
That's Rockaway Beach. Okay. Far Rockaway is the section, same island, but it's further to the east.
Okay. Are you a resident there?
Yeah.
Oh, so you know the lay of the land pretty.
Yeah.
All these locations are like your backyard.
Exactly.
Okay. And some of the locations, were they hard to get, filming wise, production wise?
I mean, the subway was a tricky place to film because it's constantly changing, and when you're trying to go after a specific thing and you have no control over your environment, it can be like just gut-wrenching.
Were you shooting guerrilla style, or did you have permits?
Or? We did not have permits. To have permits to shoot on the subway in New York basically means closing down the subway, and it's very expensive. So you don't need permits to film. So we just, worked with what we could.
Now, what about the people in the subway? It looked like they were total strangers that you just happened to focus on.
There's a mix. There's a few people who were just happened to be there, but most of them were brought in.
Okay, so a mix of pre-planned casting and
yeah, exactly.
Chance encounters.
Yeah.
The chance encounters, were they hard to get them to sign release forms, or did you?
No, everyone was really kind of cooperative and kind of graceful about being a part of. Gracious. I mean, sometimes graceful, sometimes not. But yeah, people were really generous with their time and their presence with the film, and I think that comes from us just being transparent about what it was we were doing, communicative to everyone around us, not really forcing anyone to do anything, but giving them the option to participate or not. And we had a quick system for getting releases, and yeah.
And how big a crew and what kind of equipment did you use?
We had basically two styles of production between what we were filming in Rockaway and what we were filming on the train. The train was more of a skeleton crew of ranging from like 2 to 5 person crew, depending if we had Jesus with us. And we used a Sony F3 for the entire film, which is it's a good cinema style camera. It's without a lens, it's about that big, but then it can get pretty big. It's definitely not an inconspicuous camera. It's
Do you own this or did you?
The two production companies that co-produced the film, Missing Pieces and Think Films, both own a F3. So.
Are they commercial companies or they make commercials?
Missing Pieces makes commercials,
Okay.
and Think makes mostly documentaries, but this is their second narrative film.
Where did you find the other actors? Besides
So it's a mix of let's go to Azul. Zoria, the sister, is had never acted before, and she's a friend of a friend's daughter. So yeah, hopefully she'll do more acting. But the mother, Andrea Suarez Paz, I met on the street. I had a premonition that I was going to meet this person. I was stressing about the movie, realizing that the most important character, maybe, or just as important as the kid, was the mom, and that I needed to just be open and aware to this person around me. And within a few days of having this thought, I met her on the street with her son, and
just on the street?
I met her on the street in Brooklyn near Prospect Park, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the person." So I went up and started talking to her, and it turned out she had come to New York from Mexico 7 years ago to be an actor. She went to theater school in the city, and she's done a bunch of theater and short films, and had never done a feature. So I got her, copied the script, and she came in and read, and I offered the part. I mean, it was like...
That's an amazing...
It was incredible.
Bit of casting there. Were you waiting for the bus or something? You just sort of...
No, I was crossing the street. I was waiting. Yeah, I was like at a crosswalk. And she's an incredible actor. I mean, a lot of people think from this part that this is who she is, but she actually can speak English with zero accent. I mean, she could play any character, really, and she's such a good actor. I really hope that people look to her, because she's really good. And then couple other important roles were the friend, Marsha Blake Stephanie. She is a fairly prominent stage actress in New York. She's done some film stuff as well, but does like a lot of really great plays, and she's incredible. And then the dad, Tenoch Huerta Maia, is a pretty big actor in Mexico. He was in Sin Nombre. He plays the guy with the tattoos all over his face, and